The average person living in an urban area spends around 90% of their life indoors. That's only 10% of your entire life spent outdoors. I challenged myself to spend one entire month in nature with no running water and no electricity, living in a tent. As I'm traveling the world and setting myself challenges in the countries I visit to grow as a person and experience unique lifestyles around the globe, I've been given a roof tent from iCamper for 4 weeks, which means it's time for a new challenge. To live in a tent for 1 month, to experience a more simple life closer to nature. All this while traveling through the south of Germany. And with no idea what effect this whole experience would have on me, I started heading towards the Black Forest. Located in the southwest of Germany, this forest range once was an inspiration to the fairy tales written by the brothers Grimm. Known as one of Germany's most beautiful destinations with both nature and history to be found, this ancient forest is famous for its dark fir trees, giving it the name Black Forest. But what should be a fun adventure started with a 1 week of continuous rain. Living in a tent with no opportunity to dry your clothes and not much to do outside while it's raining.
I am soaking wet. You can hear the rain pouring onto the tent.
Being wet and cold was not exactly how I imagined this trip, but it taught me my first lesson, how dependent I suddenly was on Mother Nature. Sleeping in the middle of the Black Forest in a tent alone might not sound so appealing to most people, I get that, but for an adventure seeker like me, those are the type of experiences I live for.
I finally found a spot in Germany where it's legal to camp in the forest. I have these cute little lights now that I installed in front of the car tent. Because otherwise it's so dark you can't see.
Was I scared to sleep in the woods alone? To be honest, not really. For me, it sounds more unsafe to sleep at a parking spot where people driving by constantly than to sleep in the woods where no one knows I'm there anyway, and it's much more unlikely for someone to pass by. After 1 week in the Black Forest, I was slowly making my way into the Allgäu Alps. With steep mountains bounded by grass-covered valleys and crystal-clear lakes, this is home to the most beautiful high alpine hiking trails in Germany. I went exploring an ice cave at the foot of Germany's third highest mountain one day, went hiking on some of the most beautiful hiking trails the next day. I flew my FPV drone, filmed a lot, or spent time with cute alpacas while camping on an alpaca farm. They are adorable, by the way.
I'm never leaving.
And I slowly started getting used to tent life. With a 5-liter portable water tank for cooking, a cooling box to store my food, and a small camping grill, I had everything I needed. And I can't tell you enough how beautiful it is to enjoy a warm meal after a full day outside in front of what looks like a breathtaking backdrop. I realized how little of all the materialistic stuff I possess I really need on a daily basis.
Welcome to my home. Let me show you the view from my tent.
I was constantly in touch with nature, exposed to the fresh air, walking barefoot on soft green grass, feeling the river water running through my fingers or hearing the calm sound of the forest. I was using my senses. When we live our lives primarily indoors, our senses can become dull and out of touch. Seeing, tasting, touching, smelling, and hearing are the ways we interact with the world around us, and so they become very important in keeping us present in our lives. After 2 weeks of not having any walls surrounding me but being outside 24/7, I started to feel the effect this whole living in a tent challenge had on me. I suddenly felt like I was fully living in the present moment and felt so much more connected to my body and my surroundings. Even though I pulled the plug on modern day life for a month, I didn't feel like I was missing anything, but as if I was gaining freedom, clarity, energy, presence, feeling so much more in ease with myself and my surroundings. The fact that individuals can reduce stress just by looking at trees or show increased brain function outdoors through better oxygen quality, was giving me scientific answers of why I felt so much more in ease and clear-headed. At home, I'd sometimes find myself mindlessly scrolling through my phone in the evening before I struggled to fall asleep. But now, sleeping in a tent, I would get out a post on Instagram for you and immediately pass out having the best sleep ever. I found multiple studies on our natural light-dark cycle, also known as the body clock. By testing melatonin levels, researchers showed significant sleep improvement of participants who spent a week camping on the Rocky Mountains. So if you're suffering from sleeping problems, sleeping in a tent could actually fix your sleeping cycle. And believe it or not, I didn't even miss a chill evening on my couch watching Netflix, because I found a much cooler way watching a movie in my own open-air cinema. After spending a few days in Germany's Alpine National Park, Berchtesgaden, I completed my 4 weeks living in a tent challenge, and it was time to return home and return the tent. What this challenge showed me is how alive nature can make you feel. It made me realize how muted we are when we spend the majority of our life indoors, and how using our senses in nature vitalizes our body in a way nothing else could. Our senses and nature are a gift to instantly feel alive and connected, and I've never felt such a constant level of energy and presence than during this entire month outdoors. This experience made me realize how little I need to be happy, and that fulfillment for me comes from challenges like this that make me learn and grow as a person. I'm hoping to inspire you with this and for you to follow along on my next adventures. The day I woke up in my actual bed again, I missed waking up in a tent, and I hope I'll be able to repeat this experience again soon.
Stars up above me, stars in my eyes, fire below me, starting to rise. I'm my own captain, hanging on tight tonight. Pointless to try and turn back the time.